Hello everyone, welcome back to another of the video series with Discover Dunwoody. I am Mark Galvin, the Director of Marketing for Discover Dunwoody, and we are always out looking for wonderful, great new guests that can talk about their special spot, their expertise, because we like to share information with all of you that we think that you'll find valuable. Today, I'm very excited to introduce you to a brand new friend of ours, Lola Coker-Oni. Lola.
Hi, how are you?
Good to see you.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely, thanks for coming in today. Now, I've told all of you before that I've run into people on the street and dragged them in. Lola knew we were going to be interviewing today. You have come just dressed to the nines, so thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much.
And showing up here. We're going to talk about travel.
Sure.
Because you are an expert in travel like there is no other.
Yes.
You're the CEO and chief principal of Cosmopolitan Empire, which is a
Correct.
concierge group, so a
Yes.
travel concierge. What is a travel concierge?
Well, thank you for having me. I'll first start with that.
Absolutely.
A travel concierge is a person that has more in-depth knowledge about regions, about destinations, and because of our expertise, we now have relationships with places that you can go. So beyond the hotels that we know, the most popular brands, we started building relationship outside those hotels, like boutique hotels, private villas, private islands, and we know the owners. So let's say you go to a specific, I don't know, Puerto Rico, and you're on an island there,
All right.
and you need something. Instead of a travel agent that would have just booked, we are able to call whoever we have a relationship with, so like the owner or the general manager, and you can get it immediately. Not only that, but I personally have probably been to the property already or been to the destination and know what is around the area, in the know, the weather, the local, and try and tailor it to exactly what the purpose of your vacation or trip is.
So I think we've all heard of travel agents before.
Correct.
And a travel agent more or less finds a destination, tries to get a decent deal, maybe push you to a new set of dates based on you can save money here. You're not going to just do that, but you will book the trip, right?
Correct.
Do you book the airfare and all of that?
Everything.
Okay, all right.
So it's
from soup to nuts, you're going to take care of it.
everything. It's seamless. You don't have to. It's hassle-free. You're just supposed to show up on your bed, and the only person you're supposed to speak to is probably the waitress
All right.
or the waiter. Everything else is
All right.
been curated.
So if I decide I'd like to go to, let me think of some place I'd like to go. There's those islands off of India that have the little, your hotels are on their own
Yes.
little island, right?
Right.
I forget what that's called, but you would, number one, you'd probably help me figure that out. But I could say, I'd like to go there. You would find it. You could set up the airfare, transportation from the airport to the location, and then what about trips during the vacation?
So it really depends on the purpose of vacation. So if I'm doing a family trip, and Dad is the kind of person that still likes to work during vacation, I would always.
Dads aren't supposed to work during
They're not
vacation.
supposed to work. They're not supposed to. But what I try to do on family trips is that every individual enjoys the vacation, and then as a family comes together to also enjoy the vacation. So let's say you go to one of those islands. I have to make sure that I let you know beforehand what language they speak.
Ooh,
and if
that's
they
good.
don't speak a language that you know, I have to get an interpreter.
Okay.
Okay?
Wow.
As far as what you eat, what do you like to eat?
Hold on a second. Come back to the interpreter.
Yes.
So if I need an interpreter to get to a location, do you make sure that interpreter is available to me 24/7?
Depending, it can be 24/7, or if you're the kind of person that is just going outside the property, then I can get an interpreter for you. But if you're the kind of person that you just want to stay on property, then yes, the interpreter has to be at your beck and call.
Wow, that's cool. I'm so sorry. I think that's fascinating. I didn't even think about that. All right,
Yeah.
so we got an interpreter, and then what next? What's
Get
next?
an interpreter, and then let's say Dad likes to play golf. Even no matter where, you like to play golf.
Yeah, that sounds
Even if you might not
I'm not good
get-
at it, but I'd want to.
Even if you're not on the golf course, but I will be able to create something with the concierge on property to have you have that feel, either in your room or outside. whatever that may be. And then a lot of things that people forget about when traveling is transportation. You think of the destination, you think of the hotel, they never think, oops, how am I going to get there? And
I get that.
Yeah, and then most times when you get to the airport, you don't want people tugging on you,
Right.
or, hey, take a taxi, and then you get there, you're talking to somebody, and it's like, oh, I got a taxi for $20. Why did I pay $150? So all those in-betweens are taken care of.
And I guess not every place has Uber.
No, not every place has Uber.
Okay.
So knowing the local as well, I always make sure before you travel, you get an in-the-know packet, which basically is a small little packet that you or your wife or anybody can read that lets you know about what's going on.
Okay.
So if before the trip you like to plan something outside, I'll be able to create that for you. Or even if on the trip you change your mind, you're like, you know what, I'm kind of bored, I want to do something. I already have things in place that, it's just a phone call away that I can make
really
that happen.
cool. So it sounds like, just first blush, is that you can help make a vacation really breathe life into it. I've got a good friend who I love going on trips with him because he will sit down and create an agenda of every single day and where are we going and what are we doing and we're going to go to this museum and we're going to picnic here and these are the restaurants. It's unbelievable. It sounds like you do all that. If somebody
Yes.
wants all of that, you can take care of it. Or if they just want to get there and just have nothing, of course that's probably easier, but you can handle that as well.
Yeah, so like last year I had a trip of 23 people of a
23
family.
people. Did you get all 23 people's little personal preferences?
I really did. And in their
Wow.
rooms they had it right next to their phones to let them
Get
know this
out.
is where they're supposed to be. It was a large family. It first started off with one private jet and then it ended up being 3 private jets. Like, you know what, Dad, I'm going to come, and then I'm going to come. But because they were coming in different dates, I made sure that each room was already designated and assigned to them, and then they knew what they were doing every day at what time. And then I also created it in a way where, some days I don't want to be with the family. I just want to be at home.
Need a little alone time.
Yeah, a little alone time.
Sure.
And then like Dad, maybe like you, Dad, that likes donuts, you can have donuts day.
I did not tell her I like donuts. I like donuts.
And then Mom, wife doesn't have to disturb you. That's the day you get to have donuts and beer.
I love
I
that.
create that for
Donuts
you.
and beer?
I don't know.
Do they go together?
No, but I don't know.
Okay. I almost, number one, so cool that you're booking private jets. I've never been on a private jet. That sounds like I need to talk to you about doing my family of 23 on a trip. But the ability for you, number one, you can book a private jet, right?
Right.
Not everybody knows how to do that. I think that's brilliant. And then understanding all those folks, I almost feel like you ought to go with them.
Yes, if I am asked to, I do, but it just depends.
Sure.
All
right.
Obviously it comes with a fee, a nice fee, because I'm going to be running up and down the whole time.
Well,
But
I kind of see it like a meeting planner. So
Right.
out of the hospitality business, worked many, many times with meeting planners that would put on humongous events. This is, in a way, like an event.
yes, it is.
It's actually like an incentive trip,
Correct.
which I used to see a lot. All right, this is great. Tell me a little bit about the people who hire you, because not every average traveler has the wherewithal to do 3 private jets. So you've got a specific market that you target. Who are they?
Correct. Now, I know I have been arguing with a lot of my colleagues in my industry. So I say I do middle class and above.
Okay.
Whatever financial bracket that is, I don't know, because a lot has changed with recession, a lot has changed,
Okay.
But then I was looking at, I was like, looking about 300 to 500 and above, 300 to 500,000 yearly and above.
Yeah.
And it's not because I'm shawning, anything of a lower bracket, but because if you think about enjoying a full vacation,
Right?
correct? You don't want to micromanage.
No.
You don't want to micromanage.
It's not
That's
vacation
yes.
if you're doing that.
And then when you ask for a lot of things, when you ask specifically for a lot of things, that means it's taking up my time as well. And I want to make sure it's perfect.
Right.
And I want to make sure it's personable. You should be able to pick up the phone to me or send me a message and I deliver immediately.
100%. I totally
Right.
get that.
Correct. But if it's with a button, there's nothing wrong, because every now and then, I don't mind helping families or individuals or couples that are in a budget, I can just refer on places where you want to go, because I am so passionate about
I
hospitality.
can see that.
And I'm passionate about hotels. So I can tell you this is the kind of hotel that you like to stay at. But the remaining in between, the concierge work, then that's when it becomes a fee.
Yeah, and you don't, so it would hurt your service
It will.
if every time somebody picked up the phone and called you and said, hey, I need your help, you had to say, okay, the fee for this is this. You do
Correct.
not want to have that conversation. You want to be able
Right.
to just help, and your expenses, your cost needs to be absorbed in a way that doesn't look like it's obtrusive. So I totally get that. I think that makes good sense. And people don't have to be on a private jet to work with you.
Oh,
They can,
no.
yeah, right.
Oh,
Just
no.
make sure.
I do economy, I fly economy, business, it depends.
Okay.
And also just to
Yeah.
let people know out there that there's also something called the private share where you can, private jet shared, where you can just actually just book a seat, which is less affordable than getting the whole plane.
Wow.
Yeah,
So you can book a seat on a private jet.
yes, but it's probably going to be like, 3 empty seats or 4 empty
Yeah.
seats.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's good to know too.
And it's cheaper. Still
All right.
expensive. Yeah.
So I think this is a common concern for some travelers, and it's about COVID. Should people be worried about COVID today, or maybe there are other threats I haven't thought of? Number one, should they be worried about it? And if they are, how can they mitigate that worry?
I don't want to use the word worry, but
Not in travel.
not in travel. I don't want to use the word worry because things have calmed down. It doesn't mean that COVID doesn't exist.
Right.
But I want them to know that it is something to look into. So even if a country is saying, we don't take COVID tests, just the protection of somebody else, just the way some people are asymptomatic or not, please take a test before you go.
Okay.
And
All
if
right.
you feel that you're going to a property or a particular destination where you feel COVID was high at the time and mentally still in you, let me know ahead of time. There's usually testing on property to assist.
See, and that's actually, I think, half the battle, is if I'm going on vacation, I don't want to worry
Right.
about COVID, right? If that's something that I personally I'm going to lose sleep over. And so part of it is mitigating that worry, whether there's a real threat or not. That's really not my
yeah.
concern in this case is we want people to relax.
Yeah, they need to relax. They really do need to relax. It's not, I just, totally, as globally, I think everyone has done a good job. The people, the government, and everybody has done a good job and is able to, subdue everything. Just like, you get a cold.
Right.
Just like, I don't know, you get a bite,
Yeah.
So there's nothing to worry about right now.
So what about traveling to China right now? It sounds like they're having more of a breakout. Do you have people wanting to go to China?
I haven't had any requests going to China.
Okay.
I have had a lot of people going to other Asian continents, but not China. And China, most people that I know that go there for business trips, so it's more
Yeah.
corporate.
Okay. All right, good. You're talking about booking the Pacific Rim, talking about those countries in that area. So you're obviously booking all over the place. I'd love to know, what are the places that we should add to our bucket list? So if there's 2 or 3, maybe 5, I'm not sure what the right number would be, of places, gosh, you got to make sure you go here.
First, people have to return back to Italy, and I know a lot of people
Italy?
I know a lot of people are like, well, I've been in Europe, I've been in Italy. But Italy is a place where you just cannot have enough of, and you can actually pick the kind of vacation you want to have. So let's say you're the kind of person that likes to go to the mountains. You can find it in Italy.
Wow.
You want to go to the beach? You can find it in Italy. You're cosmopolitan. You can find it in Italy. The second place that people need to discover is Bali.
Oh,
Bali
really?
is a beautiful place. I know it is a long destination.
Where is
there.
Bali?
Bali's in Indonesia.
Okay, all right. And so there's a lot of islands in Indonesia, so it's just one of those mini islands over
Yes.
there. Okay.
So Bali is a place where you really want to go to and enjoy culture and food. It is very affordable and it's luxury.
Is it, do they speak English?
No, yes and no.
Okay.
Yes and no, because most of the properties that I have reached out to and try to partner with, they actually teach them to speak English. So they speak good, decent English.
Wow, okay.
You might go to the airport and then might not find anybody that speaks English, but yeah, so it's half and half. It's not as bad as some other.
Can modern technology help with that though? If I've got a
Yes, there are
language,
apps.
something, yeah, if I could say something, then hand it to the person and
Yes.
they can understand me. Okay, well that's
Translate.
good. I think Bali sounds like a great idea. How long is that flight?
The flight is
Ish?
18 to
Holy.
18 to 32, depending on how you do it. The reason why I say
I
that,
do want you to know that 32 hours is actually longer than a day.
yes, because if you're the kind of person that doesn't like to fly long, you have to take a break.
Yeah, I don't want coach on that
And
flight.
then you want to take a break somewhere where you can go to UAE, which is like Dubai, the Arabs, and enjoy.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, and then
Maybe
go
have a
from
day,
there.
maybe a layover there.
Exactly, and if you want to do a stretch, go ahead.
I'm not doing one day in Bali, am I?
No, you're not going to do one day. You have to do a minimum. You have to enjoy Bali. I would say a minimum of 10 days.
Oh,
A
wow.
minimum, and that's like a quick one because by the time you get there and come back, that's
Okay.
a minimum of 10 days.
How much money should I budget for a trip to Bali?
You or
Ish.
family?
Two
Two?
for a couple.
Honestly, if I tell you that less than $1,500 would.
No
Yes.
way.
Yes, and you will get luxury. You get the massage. You get good food. You get
I'm going to Bali.
paintings. Come on, let's go.
Really?
Yes.
Now, how much is the flight though?
Okay, the flight.
For $1,500, that's when I get on the ground. So I'm
Yes.
probably going to pay $1,000 for the flight, right?
Well,
Ish?
more than 1,000.
Okay, all
Well,
right.
coach will probably be about $1,800, $2,000.
All right, all right.
Right, round trip.
But once you get there, that's affordable.
That's it. You can actually get food. You can spend a day with food about $15 a day, and I'm talking about 3-course meal. Yes, it is really affordable. Honestly, it really is affordable, and it's good
do
food.
they drink in Bali?
Yes, they do drink,
Like bourbon?
like alcohol. Yes, they do.
I gotta go to bourbon. I gotta be there. I mean, actually, Bali's just like bourbon. It's the same B word
Yeah,
ish.
yeah.
All right, so Bali. All right, we've got Italy, we got Bali. Where
and
else?
then the last place is Egypt.
Wow.
Well, I believe that when it comes to luxury, it's value, it's culture. Egypt is just a beautiful place that people are beginning to explore. You may not get the mountains there, but you will get Cosmopolitan, and you will also would get lovely beaches there.
Beaches,
And it's
really?
not as
Unbelievable.
expensive as Pharaoh left it. Everybody thinks of Egypt, and hey, King Pharaoh,
Sure.
you know.
Yeah.
But it's another beautiful place that people go to explore.
In history.
In history, it's
Yeah, the
luxury.
history there is
It's
unbelievable.
art, beautiful,
Wow.
romantic.
All right. All right, we're gonna. I'm just added those to my bucket list. In fact, I just started my bucket list. Working in the hotel business, I've been to a lot of places. I'm fortunate to do that. I worked with hotel companies that sent me all over the place, but I have not been. Actually, I've been to Europe, but I haven't been to Italy. So I got to go to Italy.
Italy, you have to.
Got to get to Bali and
Yes.
got to get to Egypt.
Absolutely.
All right. Gosh, that's really good to know. All right. When someone goes on vacation, and you and I were talking about this before we started taping, there are 3 things that you think, well, and I think that you want to know before you book a trip. What are those 3 things and why are they important?
Well, I always say accommodation, destination, and purpose. So I know that pre-COVID, a lot of people were just like, I want to travel, get me a hotel. But guess what? There are very nice places outside hotels that you can stay at. Outside the popular chains that you can stay at, boutique hotels that you can stay at. Some people, like the travel I had last year, they wanted the whole private villa to themselves.
I'd like the whole private villa.
Exactly. So the accommodation matters.
Sure.
You know, and obviously destination doesn't matter. You want it warm, you want to have fun, you're not sure, you want to explore something new. You know, that also goes with accommodation.
Right.
And third, the purpose of the trip. You're going on a family trip or you're just going just to relax, you and your spouse,
Okay.
or is it a girls' trip?
Yep.
All those 3 go together. It's a must before you even start planning
All
the
right.
trip.
That's great. So, you know a little bit about Dunwoody.
Yes.
What do you think about Dunwoody as a destination?
Dunwoody is the best place to go to.
Ah,
It's
I
going
love
to be,
this.
It's the best place in Atlanta.
Why?
I've been here since 2000. I've been here since 2000
Okay.
because it's multicultural.
Hmm.
My father always taught me, and he said, you know what? Education doesn't just stop academically. Culture matters. This is a diverse place to be. When it comes to hospitality, I still feel we're still above. It's suburban, I would use that word.
Sure.
But everybody still comes here. You can still find hospitality here. In the restaurants, you have a bit of the hotels, we have the parks to go to. It's a beautiful place to be.
Oh, I love that. Well, thank you
Most
for
welcome.
sharing that with us. I would love to make sure everybody can find you. Where's the best place for people to track you down?
Now, I am a concierge first, and if you know anything about concierge, we are more of the old school people that you can find us in the hotel. So I will give you the phone number I can be reached at. It's personable. It's 678-650-0084. And then the second place you'll find me at is on my website, is www.cosmopolitanempire.com. And then lastly, you can follow me on Instagram at Concierge Cosmopolitan Empire.
Fantastic. Well, Lola, thank you so much for coming in and talking with us today.
Thank you for having
I'm
me.
impressed that you got that URL, that you got the exact name of your company as the URL. I think that's awesome.
Thank you.
And I love that you shared a phone number, and I think that speaks to the type of service that you offer. Because let's be honest, folks, if I'm going to book this type of service, I don't want to do it through a form on a website. I kind of want to talk to you. So I love that that's the way that you roll. I love that you made time to come see us today. Thank you for being with us today.
Thank you for
I appreciate
having
it. You bet.
Thank you.
And for all of you, thanks again for watching. I am Mark Galvin with Discover Dunwoody. I'd love to give a shout out to our producer, who is Madison Holtz. Our sound technician is Emily Inser Gibson. And on behalf of the entire Discover Dunwoody team, thanks for watching. Be sure to follow us on our social media sites, and you can track us down just simply looking for @DiscoverDunwoody or on our website at discoverdunwoody.com. Until next time, enjoy the day and come discover Dunwoody.